Hey, yo, we're gonna start in about 3 minutes, 3 or 4 minutes, okay? The couple, they're just pulling up.
All right, everybody. If you have just been listening there, so I just want to let you know what you're looking at right now is just the setup for a press conference to begin really at any moment now. So again, we're just keeping our our eyes on what's happening here as the attorneys for a family whose baby was decapitated at birth are expected to speak at any moment now. When that begins, we're going to bring that to you live.
So you probably need to make it a little bit higher. That's good. All right.
All right, so again, we're just watching live here as a press conference is expected to begin at any moment now with the attorneys for a family whose baby was decapitated at birth, and again, we're just waiting for that press conference to begin, and we're going to bring that to you live, and really a very tragic story that we continue following here on Atlanta News First Plus. So just sharing with you some of the details of what exactly happened. So remember that we first reported to you that Travion Taylor, he was actually decapitated at birth. His mom was 20-year-old Jessica Ross. Let me show you some video of his mother, his parents here, clearly very upset. And now what we've learned is that the Clayton County Medical Examiner has ruled the newborn baby's death a homicide. This information came out Tuesday from the medical examiner's office. They released the cause of death of Travion Taylor, and that came almost 7 months after his mom, Jessica Ross, experienced complications during the birthing process. This is all according to a lawsuit filed on behalf of this baby's parents, and really some troubling details that have been revealed through this lawsuit. So according to this lawsuit filed in August of 2023, here's what happened. And again, this is from the plaintiffs, what they are alleging here, that the baby's shoulders got stuck in the birth canal, at which point a doctor allegedly performed a cesarean section, but it was too late, and applied, quote, excessive tension on the baby's head, causing the baby's head to detach from his body. This is all according to the lawsuit filed in August of 2023 by the parents of this little baby, Travion Taylor, who was a newborn. And the medical examiner's office stated that the cause of Travion Taylor's death was a, quote, fracture dislocation with complete transection to the upper cervical spine and spinal cord. It really, just listening to that and trying to process what that means, quite disturbing. It goes on to say that his death was caused by shoulder dystocia, arrest of labor, and fetal entrapment in the birth canal. Some really, really troubling details here. The medical examiner also said that the mom had some pregnancy-induced diabetes and a premature rupture of membranes, and these were contributing factors in the death of this newborn baby. But that Travion's death was ultimately caused by, quote, the actions of another person. Again, that is the finding of the medical examiner's office. That is all according to a report released by them. So the lawsuit that has been filed by the parents of this newborn, some of the individual claims include negligence and fraud. And so this lawsuit was filed nearly a month after the incident and named several defendants. The defendants include, of course, the hospital, the doctor, several nurses, also the medical group at large, and a statement from the law firm, who, again, we're expecting to hear from at any moment now, Edmund and Lindsay LLP, said family members claimed the doctors did not tell the mother and father what had happened at the time, and instead, hospital staff allegedly refused to let them hold the baby after death. They showed parents Travion wrapped tightly in a blanket with his head propped on top. This is according to a statement from the lawyers for the family. It also said that staff pressured the couple to cremate the remains, and on top of that told them an autopsy was not warranted. And I'm just keeping an eye on what's happening with this press conference. Let me go ahead and bring us here live. Let's listen in.
Slide in, record it. No, that's okay. That's cool. Y'all come over there then. Y'all come over on the other side. However you want to do it. Come on over this way. And I want your mama right here. Come on. Y'all come on over this side. Yeah. Come on over a little bit. Okay. Very good. All right, good morning, everyone. Just a minute. Good morning, everyone. My name is Dr. Rod Edmond, Attorney Edmond. I'm one of the attorneys representing Ms. Ross, Mr. Taylor in this matter. Corey Lynch, Attorney Corey Lynch is here with us also. Also, lawyers associated with my firm, Attorney Lindsay, Attorney Watson, Attorney Gant, and got the relatives of this young couple. The purpose that we're here, why we, excuse me, that's okay. We can just hold it. Okay. So we're here this morning to inform the public that, consistent with our initial complaint that was filed back in August of 2023, it was neck trauma, namely a fracture of the bones in the neck and damage to baby Travion Taylor Jr.'s spinal cord that causes death, and not any other complications associated with shoulder dystocia. We did this again 6 months ago. I told you all what shoulder dystocia was. Shoulder dystocia just means when a baby is coming down the birth canal, the bones basically get stuck in the pelvis. It is a phenomenon that occurs. It is not extremely rare. Every qualified, board-certified obstetrician and gynecologist should know how to deal with it. And so that's what a shoulder dystocia is. For background purposes, for people who weren't here 6 months ago, Ms. Ross was full term on July the 9th, 2023. She was 37 weeks pregnant, and when she went into Southern Regional Medical Center, she went in with the full expectation of having a healthy baby when she was discharged. However, tragically, during her delivery, the baby was decapitated. The baby was decapitated for sure as a result of a complication from the shoulder dystocia, but the standards of care are very, very simple. When there's a shoulder dystocia, there's certain tried and true things that must be done, positions that must be assumed by the patient herself with the assistance of the nurses, things that must be done by the nurses, putting fundal pressure, things of that sort. There should be an alert that's made to all people in the hospital so that other people can come and get fresh eyes on the situation and give this baby the best chance of coming into this world full, whole, and healthy. And our complaint is very clear that we allege that this was not done. The cause of the death, again, was the baby's neck was broken while Dr. St. Julian was applying excessive traction on the baby's neck in the face of the shoulder dystocia. This is something that is clearly contraindicated. No credible, no reasonably competent obstetrician should ever do this. You're supposed to do maneuvers and different maneuvers in order to basically get the baby out. And if in fact that doesn't work, then you go to a C-section. Unfortunately, as you all recall, right after we filed the suit back in August of 2023, representatives from Southern Regional Medical Center, they came out with a statement saying that the baby was dead before the decapitation, really implying that it was complications of the shoulder dystocia that killed the baby and not excessive traction and trauma to the neck. The Clayton County Medical Examiner's determination, when they put out that press release a couple of days ago, completely gouges that defense. What they did is that they determined that the cause of death was homicide. And I want to be real semantic in this capacity. Homicide in this context means that the baby's death was due to the hands of another human being. Please don't confuse this with criminal homicide, which is basically based upon a statute in Georgia law, OCG. There's a statute in Georgia law that deals with homicide, and it's a completely different definition. But what you saw in their press release is that they determined that it was a fracture and dislocation with a complete transection of the upper cervical 1 and cervical 2 spine and the spinal cord that caused the death. I'm not getting into the medical part of it at all, but C1 is the first cervical vertebra in your spine. C2 is the second one. And so there was a disconnection or break in those two, and that was the cause of death. What is really important for the public to understand is that, this determination done by the Clayton County Medical Examiners was done very judiciously and deliberately and objectively. They went and got the input of an OBGYN expert, an independent OBGYN expert who was out of state, who has done over 10,000 labor deliveries. And then they also doubled down on that and got an independent expert who was from Georgia, who has delivered over 9,000 labor deliveries. They sent these experts the medical records, and they also basically sent the information to an independent private forensic pathologist. And after basically gleaning all of the information from these experts, their determination was that the death was a homicide. And practically speaking, what that means again is that contrary to what Southern Regional Medical put out there, that the baby died from complications of the shoulder dystocia before the decapitation, when they put him back, when they took her back to the operating room, they came and determined independently that the cause of death was trauma to the neck. The neck was broken and the baby died. And then whether or not the baby was alive when they went back and did the C-section, we don't know, because quite frankly, Southern Regional has not been very cooperative thus far in terms of discovery. We have not taken one deposition in this case, not because we haven't asked, but because there's been pushback by the defense. I will say this, we did have a conversation with the defense within the last week, and I think we've cleared this stuff up, and we're going to be able to briskly get through the requisite depositions that we need to really find out what happened. We're going to depose everybody who was in the room, all the nurses, all the scrub techs, everybody, to find out essentially what the hell happened. What happened? Why was there not an alert put out all throughout the hospital to say we have a shoulder dystocia so that new eyes could come in and look? Why weren't the proper procedures done in terms of maneuvers and the like? So that's what we're going to do. Again, I really want to just say that in terms of the term homicide, everybody watches TV, and homicide is always associated with a crime. I've practiced medicine for 12 years. I've been doing this, basically holding hospitals and doctors accountable for negligence for 20. And I've never seen a circumstance where there's been any kind of criminal allegation made against a doctor. And again, that determination is not something within our purview. We have nothing to do with that. That's all under the jurisdiction of the Clayton County Police Department and possibly the Georgia Bureau of Investigation. So we're out of that. We have nothing to do with that. But I just want you to know that there is a distinction The homicide that is used in this particular term is basically the death was due to the hands of another person. This case, again, we're just talking about the medicine now, but as you all remember, in my opinion, the most offensive aspect of this case deals with the lies and the cover-up that occurred after the decapitation. The fact that Dr. St. Julian came in just an hour or so after the delivery of the baby and failed to tell this couple the details and the specifics of what happened, that the baby had been decapitated. That was not done. That was a lie and a cover-up. Lies and cover-ups, again, the hospital staff there at Southern Regional Medical Center were trying to encourage this young couple to get the baby cremated in an effort to destroy evidence. They lied to the couple and told them that they were not amenable. A free autopsy paid for by Clayton County was not available to them. They did that, in my opinion, in order to force them into getting the cremation. Again, a lie and a cover-up, trying to destroy evidence. And then this is the most egregious part of it. Again, when this couple were there, and notice, I've dealt with dozens and dozens of cases of fetal death and fetal demise. It is normal, natural, proper, and right for parents, after the baby is deceased, to say, I want to see my baby. I want to hold my baby. I want to touch the baby's fingers before we put the baby away. And they wanted that also. The staff at Southern Regional Medical Center, they lied to them and said, you cannot hold your baby, you cannot touch your baby. And when they did not accept that, when they didn't accept it, they persisted. Then Southern Regional Medical Center, they capitulated a little bit. They said, okay, you can look at your child through a glass window, and they wrapped the baby tightly in a blanket, propped the baby's head up on the body, and set the baby up through a glass window, basically making it look like there was no decapitation. Once again, just defrauding and lying to this young couple. So that's what this case is about. Again, the significance of the Clayton County Medical Examiner's report is that, consistent with what we've said from the beginning, the cause of the death was due to the trauma and the neck being broken, and not from any other complications from the shoulder dystocia. So those are my comments dealing with the medicine. At this point, I'm going to turn it over to co-counsel in this case, Attorney Corey Lynch, who's going to basically talk about other issues, and then you're going to hear from the clients.
Good morning. There was also a statement made by Southern Regional Medical Center after we filed the lawsuit that they did, in fact, report this to the proper authorities. The medical examiner's report shows that that is also not true. This incident was reported to the medical examiner's office and to the authorities around the morning of July 13th, and it was reported to the medical examiner's office by Willie Watkins Funeral Home in Riverdale, Georgia. And we would like to thank them for doing so, because this is a situation that, as Dr. Edmond just stated, that they really, really tried to cover up and tried to destroy the evidence of, so that they could avoid being held accountable for their actions. I would also like to thank the Clayton County Medical Examiner's Office for their thorough report and for taking the time to get these findings right. Jessica and Travion are here. They've been through a lot. As you know, the last press conference we had, they were too distraught to be here and to speak. They are here now, and I want to open the floor to them if they want to say something.
We just want justice for our son. They lied to us. They ain't let us touch him. We don't like it. We just want justice for our son.
You want to say something, babe? She does.
Okay.
All right. Well, do you all have any questions at all?
what was your reaction, what was the family's reaction when the report came out from the medical examiner basically proving what you guys been saying since the lawsuit was filed in August?
I mean, it was not unexpected on our part. I mean, I'm a physician. I mean, I reviewed the records, and it was clear that what caused the baby's death was the trauma to the neck, the doctor pulling on the neck and essentially breaking the neck. So this is completely consistent with what it is we knew prior to even filing the case. It's tragic, it's horrific, but sadly, this is the kind of evidence that you need in order to basically prevail in these kind of cases.
As a doctor, what is your reaction to the fact that Dr. St. Julian's license is still active today and she still has privileges at that hospital?
I really have no comment on that whatsoever. I mean, once again, we're still in the early stages of discovery. Not by virtue of our lack of effort. We have not taken one deposition in this case. What I need to know is what the hell happened. There were multiple people in the room, nurses, scrub techs, labor, assistants and the like. And believe me, once we put them under oath and ask them what happened, we'll know. And so I don't have anything extra to add in pointing the finger at Dr. St. Julian, other than obviously she put too much traction on the baby's neck. And then and to answer your question about the fact that she's still practicing, I mean, again, I'm not an expert in terms of who's qualified to practice medicine. They've been doing this at the Georgia Composite Board of Medical Examiners for 100 years, so I trust them in their decisions.
We know that you guys are taking civil action against the hospital and the doctor. This is now turned into a criminal case, and the case has been handed to the DA's office. What would the family want to say to the district attorney when considering criminal charges possibly being filed in this case?
I want to correct you. This has not been turned over to the DA's office.
Clayton County Police told us that they've completed their investigation. They told us this last night, that they've handed the case to the district attorney's office.
Again, what I want to say very, very clearly is that all of that is in their hands. We are civil litigation attorneys. What it is that the judicial system does with these facts, that's up to them. I said it very early on. Again, I practiced medicine for 12 years. I've never seen a circumstance where there has been criminal liability by a doctor being grossly negligent. This doctor was grossly negligent. Whether or not it rises to the level of a crime, again, way beyond my purview, way beyond my pay grade.
Is there an update on the second lawsuit about the person that posted these pictures on social media?
Sure. Yeah, we filed suit against the pathologist. I think his name was Dr. Jackson Gates. Come on, you handle it.
Well, we filed suit against Dr. Gates. To date, he has not answered that lawsuit. So he is basically in default. We filed a default motion.
Right. We filed a motion for default judgment in the case because of Dr. Gates' failure to answer the complaint or respond to the discovery. We've been unable to determine whether the court has granted that motion. Obviously, most of you know the Fulton County civil case system is down, so I can't locate and determine whether the court has granted that motion. But we're confident that we'll prevail on that.
It's been nearly 7 months since Jessica went into labor at this point, and just now starting to get these answers that you all have claimed since the lawsuit was filed in August. Can you speak to that trauma that she's endured? I mean, I know it's clear from just seeing her, but...
It's been tough. It's been tough on the whole family. They have been strong and resilient with trying to move forward with life and get back to not normal, but a new normal, given the grief that they have sustained. It's been tough. I keep in close contact with them. Just to kind of lift their spirits up and to see how they're doing. We've also, they have actually sought out counseling as well for the grief of this, but it's been a lot, as you can see and as you can probably imagine.
I know you all are focused on civil aspects of this case, but is there a family representative, perhaps, or one of you could address if the family does believe that criminal charges should be filed in relation to this case?
I can say that the family deeply and fervently trust the judicial system, and so again, they don't have an opinion one way or another. They're still stuck in grief. They've lost their child, and are they sitting back waiting for charges to be pressed against the doctor? The answer is no. They're focused on healing and recovery.
Was this hospital the hospital they usually went to for their monthly checkups, or their usually checkups during the pregnancy, or was this just something that as soon as she went into labor, they decided to go to this hospital?
Yeah. I mean, just like in most situations in the United States, you have private practices. That's where she got her primary obstetrical care. And these physicians affiliated with these private practices, they have admitting privileges and delivery privileges at a hospital. So there was nothing unusual. It wasn't like she just popped up on their doorstep, full-term pregnant. No, she was scheduled to be delivered at Southern Regional, having been followed by physicians who are on staff at Southern Regional Medical.
What is the most damning piece of evidence that you think you have in this case that you hope will help you prevail in this lawsuit? Is it this latest findings by the Clay County Examiner's Office, Medical Examiner's Office, or is it, I've heard of a video that was taken there by family members during the delivery process. Do you think that would be the most compelling?
You know what? There is no most compelling. It's all really, really jacked up. Every aspect of the evidence that shows what happened is traumatizing. It's something I've never seen in my life. From the medical records, and there is a video that we've basically given to the defense, which shows the excessive traction. And I'll say this, just how the situation was dealt with afterwards is bizarre. I mean, it is diabolical in my mind that after this woman has lost her child, that they weren't candid with her about what happened, that they tried to basically force her to get the baby cremated to basically spoil evidence, that they lied to them saying you can't get a free autopsy at the expense of Clayton County. Now, all of that is bizarre. It is bizarre, and honestly, so I am going to answer your question. The most shocking thing is what happened after the baby was dead.
But I just want to, you were referencing this in your initial statement, but from the hospital statement, it said the death occurred in utero prior to the delivery and decapitation.
I'm going to say this, literally, that's possible. We don't know. Again, we haven't even taken a deposition. It's possible that the baby was being delivered, and again, the baby is viable. Heart rate is fine and everything. The shoulder social is there, and then Dr. St. Julian broke the baby's neck and killed the baby. That's possible. And then when they went and did the C-section, the baby was dead, and then the head came off when they pulled the baby out. What's important for you all to understand is that the medical examiner's office said that the baby was killed by the neck trauma, by the doctor breaking the neck. So whether that happened while they were in labor and delivery, or while the baby was in the operating room, the cause of the death was breaking the baby's neck and spinal cord. That's the take-home message.
Mr. Taylor said he wants justice for his son. What would justice look like?
Oh, wow. Good.
That's tough. They are distraught. I think they want any and every measure of justice that is available to them. We're not necessarily pushing for prosecution of anyone, but if the Clayton County Police Department, Clayton County DA's office makes that determination, then so be it. Our hands are out of that, and we are laser focused on getting them justice through the civil process.
Hey, look, once again, like 6 months ago, we appreciate y'all's attention to this story. It is bizarre. You all have been covering this for a long time. You've never seen anything like this. And sadly, it is true. All right, I wish we weren't here, but we are. And, stay tuned. We're going to take some depositions. In this case, we'll resolve in some capacity, hopefully within the next year or two. Okay.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
All right. And we have, like I said, we have copies of, you all probably have them already, copies of the medical examiner's press release. There you go. Let's see something real quick.
Oh, wait.
Well, hold on one second. Hold on one second.
Oh, yeah, we got it, yeah.
I'm sorry. Now, I don't mind telling you what's up, is that we included in this a copy of the autopsy report, but then at the end of the autopsy report, they put some language in there saying that it could only be disseminated with their approval. That's from the Georgia Bureau of Investigation. So let me tell you what we're going to do. We're going to just get with us within the next couple of hours. We're going to ask the GBI if we can just release it. If we can,
I have a copy of that already.
well, it? Did you
Yeah,
get it?
they're releasing it.
They're releasing it?
Yeah, he's releasing it.
Okay, well, if that's the case, y'all got it then. All right, all right.
If that's the case, that's good.
I just spoke
Well, you know what? I'm going to defer. I'm going to defer to my lawyer. Do me a favor, share it with everybody. All right.
Just ask, I'll give it to you.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
said Clayton County?
So this one we
Right,
can't take, even for personal use? Just
No. The autopsy. We're just trying to err on the side of just being set caution here.
It's the GBI medical examiner's autopsy.
Yeah. I'll tell you. If you want the press release from Clayton County, you can have that.
Yeah, I'll take the press release.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, appreciate it, thank you.
Get you a copy of the press
Or
release.
whatever I can take, that's
No problem.
okay with you guys.
And just so you know that if you all want independent interviews at any point, just reach out,
Press
okay?
releases in here?
Even now, if you want to do it.
Oh, great, okay.
Should we do it now or?
Keep that, okay, got it, okay.
Well, we can do it now. I mean, I think a good time would, you know. Yeah.
Press release.
who was delivering the baby. So again, just moments ago, you heard that press conference from the lawyers representing the family whose baby was decapitated during delivery. Let me show you just some video because you see in these live images, people are just kind of moving around and so forth. But I want to just show you some video of kind of the family and so forth, and you know, really just heartbreaking case here and heartbreaking details that we're learning about this case. And what we've just learned is there appears to be a criminal investigation underway. So, you know, obviously the attorneys here made it crystal clear that they filed a wrongful death lawsuit. Those are civil charges in civil court, and separate and unrelated. They are, you know, they have nothing to do with a criminal investigation, but we've also learned that there is a criminal investigation underway. But regarding this wrongful death lawsuit, we've heard this, what's really been underscored today by the attorneys for the family of this baby, is that according to the medical examiner, the baby's death was caused by human hands. It was ruled a homicide and caused specifically by a broken neck. To put it in layman's terms, is what we just heard from the attorney for the family. They are filing a wrongful death lawsuit. The law firm is Edmond and Lindsay LLP. Mr. Edmond there, you know, leading remarks and shared that he himself is a physician by background, apart from being an attorney. And, you know, really they emphasized not just the wrongdoing in the baby's death, but the cover-up. You heard Mr. Edmond reiterate the family's own comments, you know, something that we detailed for you, but just to hear him say it in such powerful terms that essentially he called it diabolical, the way that the incident was handled in the aftermath. He described how the baby was, even though the baby had been decapitated, was essentially presented as though he had not been, that the baby had been, you know, wrapped in a blanket. Little Travion Taylor had been wrapped in a blanket with his head kind of propped up on his body and presented through the glass for his parents to see, and that, you know, according to this attorney, the officials there, the workers at the hospital, you know, encourage the family, the parents, to cremate in what Mr. Edmond, the attorney, describes as kind of an attempt to destroy evidence, essentially, by cremating the baby's remains instead of, you know, having him embalmed and preserved and laid to rest. And let's not forget that this really came to light because of the funeral home, that it was obviously the couple did not decide on a cremation. They actually worked with Willie A. Watkins Funeral Home, And they didn't even know about the decapitation until 4 days after delivery, according to the couple. And the general manager of the funeral home, named Sylvia Watkins, actually told Atlanta News First, quote, "I just felt a sense of urgency to say, hey, listen, this is not right. This is not right. Never seen it before." And, you know, she says she found it peculiar to receive a decapitated baby from a hospital and not the medical examiner's office or law enforcement. And I do want to also emphasize that Mr. Edmond, the attorney here, also claims that the hospital did not, well, essentially falsely told the couple that they were not entitled to a free autopsy by the county. And you know, painting this picture of essentially the hospital going through an extensive cover-up to keep the family from discovering what really happened, from staging the baby's body to appear as if it had not been decapitated, to keeping the parents on the other side of glass, to actually telling them, you know, to cremate the baby's body, to telling them, you know, that they didn't have a right to a free autopsy. So clearly they're seeking justice, and I do want to let everyone know that we have reached out to Southern Regional Medical Center. Our Patrick Quinn has reached out to them looking for a response, and the response that we got is, "Hello, Patrick. Thank you for reaching out to Southern Regional Medical Center. Due to current litigation, we are unable to comment. If attribution is needed, you can attribute to me as the Southern Regional Medical Center spokesperson. Thank you, Melinda Folk." So that is the response that we got. We heard from the attorneys for the family saying that, you know, they're still early in the discovery process of this lawsuit because they actually have tried to conduct depositions with the hospital and hospital staff, and essentially are getting pushed back. You know, and they're claiming that the hospital has not been cooperative in their process of discovery, which is essentially just the legal process of, you know, uncovering all the facts to then, you know, present a case in court. So, again, that's stunning new development that we presented to you on Atlanta News First and Atlanta News First Plus yesterday, that the medical examiner had now ruled the baby's death a homicide, officially as a homicide, that the baby's death was at human hands. Okay, so we're going to keep following the latest on this. Want to let you know, if you haven't yet done so, download our free Atlanta News First app. You can get updates sent right to your phone. I also want to let you know, let's take you to this other live stream that we are following. And this is a little rocky. I apologize for that. But Jill Biden, First Lady Jill Biden, arriving here in Atlanta, set to speak here in Atlanta today. So we're just watching live. Let me see if I can help us listen in here to what's happening on the ground. Just give me a moment to work out the audio. All right, so you can just kind of hear some airport noise in the background there, but again, expecting Dr. Jill Biden to step off that plane at any moment now. We have our Doug Reardon on the ground at the airport ahead of the First Lady's arrival here. The First Lady is expected to speak at Morehouse School of Medicine's 13th annual Women's Heart Healthy Luncheon at the Georgia Aquarium. And this event raises funds for Women with Heart, which is a volunteer organization. It was established in 2009 by former First Lady of Morehouse School of Medicine, Eileen Maupin. And there she is. First Lady Dr. Jill Biden. And the First Lady and Dr. Monica Bertagnoli, Director of the National Institutes of Health, arriving here.
Let's go. We gotta go. You guys stay here.
Sorry, this is live and we got cameras moving moving around, so apologize for that.
Sure. That was abrupt.
But well, this is a little bit of bumpy video. Let me Okay, here we go. Now that's looking better. And so, yeah, so we have a crew on the ground, and we're going to be bringing you Dr. Biden's remarks live here on Atlanta News First Plus, and obviously she's got to do her photo ops, etc., and meet and greets. But the First Lady and Dr. Monica Bertagnoli, director of the National Institutes of Health, arriving at Hartsfield-Jackson Atlanta International Airport. There you saw being greeted by Mayor Andre Dickens, and also Chairman Jeffrey Turner of the Clayton County Board of Commissioners greeting her as well. And the main event is at 12:30, the Morehouse School of Medicine's 2024 Women's Heart Healthy Luncheon, where Dr. Biden will be delivering her remarks. And we know that health, heart health, women's health, these are all topics that have been so important to the First Lady. And the luncheon is, it raises funds for Women with Heart, I believe I was starting to discuss, which is a volunteer organization that essentially is meant to provide student scholarship funds, promote healthy lifestyles, and really raise awareness about heart health and cardiovascular disease. So this year marks the 15th anniversary of the creation of the Women with Heart initiative. And so we see the motorcade for the First Lady making its way to Morehouse for the School of Medicine's 2024 Women's Heart Healthy Luncheon. Again, our Doug Reardon is on the ground and will be following along that motorcade and getting remarks at the luncheon at Morehouse today. And we're going to be streaming this luncheon, again, beginning at 12:30. So this motorcade is going to take a bit to make its way over to Morehouse. But, a bit of background on the White House initiative on women's health research, which was launched by the President and the First Lady last November. The White House initiative on women's health research aims to fundamentally change how we approach and fund women's health research. And this effort really meant to galvanize the federal government as well as private and philanthropic sectors. All right, so the live shot coming down there. So I'll show you a little bit of video, but just, waiting for this luncheon to begin. But, clearly this is a first of its kind effort, again, led by First Lady Dr. Jill Biden, as well as the White House Gender Policy Council. This initiative is clearly very important to Dr. Biden. As a first step, the president directed his administration to establish an initiative consisting of executive departments and agencies across the federal government, dedicated, among other things, to women's research, and deliver concrete recommendations to advance women's health research. And initiative members are recommending concrete actions. But again, First Lady Jill Biden making her way to Morehouse for that luncheon set to begin at 12:30 today. So, of course, we're going to bring you her live remarks right here on Atlanta News First Plus.
I was kind of thinking there.
Okay, so obviously Dr. Jill Biden making her way to Morehouse School of Medicine for the 2024 Women's Heart Healthy Luncheon. We're going to bring you those live remarks, and that luncheon set to begin at 12:30. Right now, Dr. Biden she's on the road with her motorcade, as you saw. We have our next regularly scheduled broadcast at noon today, so coming up in just a little less than 15 minutes. And then when that's done, that's about the time that she is going to be beginning the luncheon. So we're going to stream that live here on Atlanta News First Plus. Of course, you can watch us anywhere you stream, whether it's Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, AtlantaNewsFirst.com, YouTube, all of the above, but we appreciate you being with us. We're going to keep you up to date with all the latest. If you haven't done so yet, I encourage you to download our free Atlanta News First app, mobile news app, and you can get alerts sent right to your phone. Thank you so much for being with us.